but it'll be different video. And then again, we'll talk about the same kind of topics and go off from there. Again, all the stuff we're showing here tonight that I'm showing, it's just our view, how we do things with the 67s, and it's not saying, it's just how we feel as a group, as a team, how we do it. And maybe if you take a couple things from it to help, your team, the way you want to try to do things with your team, but we're not saying, and I'm not saying like this is how the way you should do it. This is our view and how we do things with the 67s, and it's what we believe in. So again, going off of last week, we talked about the pillars and what are pillars and how you can connect skills with pillars. And it gives you a really good base and understanding of a different way to create a relationship with the players through practice and through games. So again, I'll just read the slide here again. Your team skills can be broken down into what we call as pillars with the 67s. For example, skills in puck protection, skills used in creating space, skills needed around the net. These will be skills that will have a direct impact to the way you want your players to play. Again, pillars are a great way to focus on the players and the development, and will improve the style of play. Like I said, guys, there's no right or wrong pillars. It's all how you feel your team, you want your team to play. And by having pillars and skills, for example, in practice, it's a good way to work on simple skills. So for example, the first 5 minutes of practice, say you're a team that wants to be a grinding team, you want to puck control. Maybe the first 5 minutes of practice, you do battle drills where it's just all puck protection down low, getting them used to it. Then when you incorporate into a game situation or a practice situation, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, they feel more comfortable with the puck. And when you're teaching these small skills, it's just really body positioning, stick positioning, puck positioning, getting them comfortable where to put the puck, where to put the opponent, different situations like that. So it all incorporates into the way that you want your team to play and how you want to develop your players. So, and it's really simple. By identifying your pillars, it's easy to identify and talk to the players. When you're talking to players, for example, a 2-on-1 game, as soon as they hear a 2-on-1 game, if you work on that in practice and you talk about your pillars in a 2-on-1 game, they should know exactly what you're talking about, like attacking the space as a puck carrier and a non-puck carrier, where to move the puck to create a 2-on-1, where to put your body positioning, where to go, how to play against a 2-on-1 defensively. So when you're working on these small skills in practice, simple skills, pillars, then they relate into the game. So when it comes into a game situation, it's a lot more areas to talk to your players about. For example, different skills and pillars versus always talking about systems. And by doing this, it's again, like I talked about always, it's a great way to build relationships with your players and an understanding and helping your players develop all over their overall game. So for us with the 67s, our four pillars, creating space, attitude at the net, 2-on-1 game, and closing quickly. Last week, we talked about creating space and attitude at the net. This week, we're gonna show clips and video on the 2-on-1 game and closing quickly. For us, the 2-on-1 game is finding free space, heads up under pressure, working away from the puck, taking their stick away, give and go game, second quick, and opening up the ice. And here, the second pillar we'll talk about is closing quickly, angling with good speed, cutting hands, finishing your bumps, good long sticks. So we'll show some video here. And we'll kind of go along here. So the first few clips, first half of clips are all going to be about the 2-on-1 game. And some of the clips we talked about before, you'll see a lot of our pillars in it. Like for example, this first clip, you'll see right away, a guy gets a little bump, he gives his teammate a little more time. Right here, again, really good bump, gives his teammate just a split second to handle the puck, make a play. And then bang, he's open. You'll see again, we're all around the puck. We're ready to receive it. Number 2 in the slot. He's ready to receive the puck. Bang, 2-on-1. We have a great breakout. And again, 13, stay wide. He cuts across, finds a free space, and bam, he's in on a 2-on-1 play there. Again, in our D zone coverage here, we're all around the puck, but 88 here is ready. Got a free stick. We're 5 in the frame. Bang, we're out. Here's a really good clip by number 17. He's one of our best at it, one of our smartest players. Again, he stays nice and tight. He's nice and low, creates a 2-on-1. Our wingers aren't blowing the zone. But then again here, now watch our puck carrier. If he stays wide here, it's 1 against 2. He probably gets choked out. We lose the puck. but he comes across, creates his 2-on-1. And from there, we create that opportunity, but it all starts from a smart play with the puck carrier. Again, on a breakout, number 20 here, great job finding his ice, creating a 2-on-1. Again, 21 now, creating a 2-on-1, finding a space. And it looks really simple, and it really is a simple, and hockey is a 2-on-1 game. But again, here, watch number 20, how he works. Works to get away from his opponent. Again, finds that free space, creates a 2-on-1. Bam, he's in. Again, here, good, nice goalie breakout. Two guys opening up. Center nice and low. Nice low support. He's not blowing the zone. None of our wingers are blowing the zone. We're staying nice and tight, and we want to attack at 5. Again, here we go. Really good job. Now, a great job on the entry. Two guys driving. Double drive at the net. Create some free space for the puck carrier. 22. Good shot at the net. Again, number 11 here. He's not blowing the zone. He's not blowing wide. He's staying nice and tight. Number 9 creates a nice 2-on-1. And now watch number 11 here. Finds that free ice. Boom, sprints into it. And now it's a foot race. We get into the offensive zone. Really good job. Good D-zone clip here again. Sorry, I'm going to rewind that. I want to show you guys something here. It wasn't shown on the screen here. Okay, on this, you can't see it on the screen, but on the weak side is number 16. He's the right winger in this clip. He doesn't blow the zone. He stays at puck level and therefore is able to come across and create support for the puck. If he stays wide and blows his own wide, maybe he gets the puck and maybe it's a 1-against-2 and he gets choked out. But we want to play 5 in the frame. We want to attack at 3 and not 1. So again, really good job by 16. He's nice puck level. And now he's over to support the puck. And now watch working away from the puck, number 17, where it's circled there. Looks, bam, working away from the puck. Nice little give and go. Really good goal. But again, that goal there all started from a breakout. So within 5 seconds, by having good pillars, by good structure, coming across, attacking, supporting the puck, attacking free space, attacking at 3. And within 5 seconds, we went from our D zone breakout to a really good job to a goal. Again, here, watch these two guys. They'll skate, they'll attack the net. Coming across, creating a 2-on-1 on the puck, give and go. Shot, goal. All of it's working away from the puck. Again, here, weak side guy, doesn't stay wide. He sprints, gets across, helps out, creates his 2-on-1 with his partner. And then again, 22 here not satisfied. He's working, gets away, good give and go, and a good shot at the net. And again, here, watch 25 here. After he gives the puck, we have support, creating a 2-on-1. But again, here, bam, he's relentless. He works, finds that free space, gets great body position, and gets rewarded with a good shot at the net. Again, guys, here working away from the puck, 22 or 23, Marco. Again, works away from the puck, gets good body position, stays nice and tight, gets in behind him. And now again, we get a chance to get in. Again, here, great entry, 2-on-1. All staying nice and tight here. Again, nice and tight, 2-on-1 game. Great pass here by Cam. Finds a little soft spot. Shot at the net. Good give and go. Merrick Rippon, we talked about him earlier. He's a great leader for us. Again, give and go, but watch number 4 behind here. He works, gets great body position, and he gets rewarded for the goal. And the last one here, again, this is a small detail, but holding net front, not going to the corner too early. But again, here, 22 here, works away from the puck, gets it, little chip, give and go, attacks the net, finds free space, gets a good shot at the net. And then for the D here, D gets the puck, again, always finding that free space, always moving, making it really hard for the defending team to defend against you. The next section here, guys, we'll talk about closing quickly, angling with speed, finishing your bumps, these kind of things. So when we talk about playing quickly, yes, we want to play fast, but sometimes moving too fast but not in control is a bad thing. Here we close the gap really good, but the angle he comes with this puck, with the forecheck, is forcing him to one direction. So we know exactly where he's going. So in doing this, our second guy in knows exactly where that player is going to go. If our forward, the first guy, was going in straight on an angle, now the guys behind him will have a hard time to read where the guy's going to go. They can go left, they can go right. So it's really hard for our second guys and third guys in to read where the play is going to happen. So by having a good angle, it makes our second guy and third guy the ability to react much, much quicker. But it's a chain connector. Having a good angle, F2, F3 can read the play, bam, they can close quick, and we can play fast. So again, really good job. He has one way to go. Now our second quicks can read that and see it, and now he can hop in and close off the play and help out. Really good job. Again here, great job by our F1. Gets inside, forcing their guy up one way. He can only go one way. So now, again, like I said, our F2 can read the play, and F3. Again, the guys are reloading, getting on top of the puck. They're working away from the puck. Again, good stick on top of the puck. Great move. A nice shot on net. Great stick here inside, forcing the player to go one way. Stays on puck, stops on puck, and now we get the puck in the offensive zone. Again here, this is a different scenario. This is reloading, always staying on top of the puck, but this is playing fast and closing quick. Bam, they're on the puck. On a loose puck, it's a chain connector. The guy beats one of our guys, our second guy's on it, reads it, they cut the play, and now we get it. And then again, like our pillar we talked about before, is getting our bumps. Here, 10, smart, makes a little bump, gives our guy a little bit of time and space to make the play, and goes from there. Another one is closing quick is our relentless. We work hard. We're hard on puck on stick on pucks, and we're always on top of the puck. And by playing fast and relentless with good angles, good sticks, it allows you to play that way and stay on top. So again, here we close a good stick, good angles. Again, guys, this is one of my favorite clips. We're always on top of the puck. We're closing quick. We have great sticks. We have great angles. We're moving our feet. We're tough to play against. Again, reloading, top of the puck. Guy reads the play, second quick, in, bend. Again, top of the puck. We're reloading back, always reloading back on top of the puck. Guy transfers the puck over, man on. We cut the play. We're just buzzing all over the ice. A good shot here at net. And then a really good job by he doesn't watch where the puck's going. And he moves his feet, and he doesn't wait to react. He moves his feet, closes quick. He has a good stick on puck, a great angle. So the player has only one option, to chip the puck out. And now we get that puck and we attack back. Again here, really good angle, great job. But again, our guys are tracking back hard. And that's one thing we always talk about. And that's part of our DNA and our values, to be relentless and to be hard to play against. In practice and in games, we spend a lot of time and effort on that and making sure our guys work. They're making sure they work. There's one thing I learned from Andre and Mario is there's no system, no anything, pillars, strategies, nothing that really you can teach your players if they don't work. That work is a starting point. They have to work first. If they work first and now they're playing in the systems or the pillars or the style you want to play, now you can start to work with things. Now you can start to make adjustments. But if they're not working, you're never going to know if the style of play or the system of play or the forecheck or whatever it is going to work, because they aren't working the way you want them to. So the first thing we always making sure is there's no negotiation. You have to work. And from there, we can make adjustments. If you make mistakes, it's okay. It's going to happen. Hockey's a game of mistakes. But one thing, you have to work. Again, reloading. Great job closing quick, staying on top of the puck. One thing here we talked about, TJ stick should be on puck, but he's above it, squeezes the play. Great transition. We get the puck here. Really good stick by number 11, Vargas here. Good stick, forces them up one way. A good stick on puck. Turnover, and now we have the puck, and now we can transition into the offensive zone. Again, Marco here. Again, he's not moving his feet. but he's playing smart. He has a good stick on puck. He's steering him to where he wants it to go. We're on top of the puck again here. 9, right on him. Good stick. We have a stick on puck. Turnover, and now we have the puck. We transition on the offensive zone. Number 88, Kevin Ball here. Again, just smart play. Stick on puck. Have a purpose. Every play has a purpose. Again, stick in the middle, protecting the middle of the ice. Closing it. They know where to go. They transfer the puck. We go. Again, here, good hip and stick. Forcing him to one way. So our defenseman has to stick one way, knowing that the other guy's going to go the other way. Again, here, bam. We have 2 in. See, 22 now. We'll have a great stick on puck. We're all inside. We're 5 in the frame. Nowhere to go. Good job. Cut the play. Again, here, closing quick, working away, reading the play. And like I talked about earlier, by having your players working, they can read off each other of what they're going to do. We're predictable of how we want to go. So if, for example, 20 here is slow to go on 28, it's harder for our guys behind him to know what's going to happen. He might get beat because he's flat-footed. So now 28, our defenseman, it's harder for him to read the play. But by 20 here, going hard at him, having a good stick, he has one way to go, is rim the puck. And now our defenseman, 28, can jump on it and close the play quickly. Good job here. Good separation. Again, we talked about that last week, separating the body, buying him some time for himself, gets that puck, good breakout here. Really good hip and stick. 88 knows exactly where he's going to push the play up the boards. And then, bam, squeeze, we go transition in the offensive zone. So those pillars are just, again, another way for you to talk to your players and focus on. You can do it in practices. You can do it, if your player's going to a skills session with a certain skills coach, maybe you can talk to that skills coach and say, hey, we want to work on this certain skills for our game. So when you're working on these skills and the skills practice, we can translate it into the game, and then you can go from there. And by doing this and focusing on some of the small things like that, your game will get better and better and better because you're paying attention to all the small details. In my opinion, and what we do, we don't spend a lot of time working on our systems. Yes, our systems is important, but we spend a lot of time on our values, and we spend a lot of time on our pillars, because every situation, every play, if you look on the ice, there's always one of our pillars being involved, and not necessarily a perfect scenario for a system play. We want to close quick. We want to be relentless. We want to have good stick on puck. We want to create 2-on-1s on the ice. So by breaking it down into our small pillars, it's much easier to identify all different situations all over the ice. And if you look at the NHL, all those players have been doing all these for a long, long time. They've been probably taught, but they do, and they're the best in the world. So they're good at those small details. And the teams that are the best in the NHL are the teams that do these small details well, but are also good in their systems. And so spending a lot of time helping the younger players now develop these small skills, these pillars, will definitely help these kids in the long run and help them to be a better team, a better player, and help you to be a better team overall. But again, so we're going to jump into another situation here and how it's all possible. I added this in last week because I had a meeting with some coaches from Toronto, and I shared with them some different ideas. And the guys that were on it last week, I showed one of our values, and they thought it had a really big impact for them and what they wanted to bring to their team. And again, so before skills, pillars, systems, X's and O's, we feel you need to have a great foundation as values, and your values is different than ours values. And it could be, there's no right or wrong values. A value is what burns you inside. So if you see, for example, I'll read off here, but a member of your team has a bad attitude, is late, puts others down, disrespectful to those around him, the value for this is respect. And so the value you guys have as a team and organization will have nothing to do with the player. And it has to stay that way, because if you have team values, everyone's on the same page, and it's not necessarily your superstar who scores 3 or 4 goals. He's out on the ice and he's breaking all these values. It has nothing to do with on the ice for the skills and how well a player can read the game, but all your team values is off the ice. And so last week we showed a video that our players did throughout the summer, throughout the COVID here. We've been meeting with our players and coming up with different ideas and different tasks for them to do. And so we broke it up into our 4 values. And this is one of the values is respect. And so our players made this video. And yeah, I thought I would show it because for me as a coach and for Bear and Mario and for us as an organization, when our players made this video and they presented it to us and to the staff and to OSAG, after we stayed on the Zoom call and we talked about it, and all of us were like, man, we were touched emotionally. Like, they get it, they understand it. And it takes good leaders to hold them accountable in your locker room. Yes, us coaches and staff can try to do that, but you have to keep constantly having reminders and talking about your values and hammering it down. So then you have to have good leadership in the locker room as well to uphold it. But I'll play the video here. I'm going to share my volume this time, and I'll have to make sure I remember not to do that after. Share sound. Here we go.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, "No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all." Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind. Because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, "In the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit." No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.
So can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So that's one part of the our values is respect. So I'm going to go into another part here to show you guys. There's another video here I got the other day.
Like Brad, when I
Can you guys hear that?
Coaching, I sought a lot of advice from other coaches, and I went and visited Pete Carroll because I always loved watching Pete's teams play. They had this great joy about them, and so I had a lot of ideas. And Pete said to me, "Well, how are you going to coach your team?" And I said, "Well, what you mean, like what offense are we?" He said, "No. I mean, how are you going to coach your team? What's important to you?" And I said, "Well, there's a lot of stuff that's important to me." He said, "Well, pick 10 principles or ideals that are really important to you, and then narrow it down to 4. And then every day's got to reflect those 4 values." So, those are really our core values, which a lot of companies have core values. But the key, which Pete talked about a lot, was every day has to reflect that. So joy is one of our principles. We try to inject joy and fun and laughter into our practice every day. Competition, we want to keep score of everything. Compassion. Brad is as good at this as anybody. Understanding that the 15th guy on the team and the first guy on the team both have a lot of pressure on them, right? Understand each player's circumstances, understand their life, understand what motivates them, what is challenging for them, and show the compassion to each one of your players and your coaches that eventually it all sort of comes together with whatever your ideals are. If you can have them reflected in your daily routine, then that becomes the culture that everyone talks about. But it takes the players to really build that culture. I think you have to instill whatever those values are, and then the players take ownership of the team within that culture, and it grows from there, and that's what makes it fun. Like Brad, when
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish."
So I know we had talked about that, and it really, for us, it's really important to have the values and trust in it. And sometimes it's good to, have the players part of that. So you say you as coaching staff come up with your 4 values, but it's always good to maybe incorporate your players to choose the values, and maybe you want to steer them a certain way to pick that certain value. But when the players pick it and are part of the process of picking the values, they tend to embrace it more and to own it more as a team and as players. So that's a good process, a good way to come about having values. But again, when I saw that video, these videos, it really, the game of hockey and for us coaches, I think it's our job and our duty to teach them more than just the game of hockey. It's our job to teach them to be a good human being, to be a good teammate, all the things that we want and we would hope for, and we want our kid to be. That's our job, to try to make these players this way. And one of the biggest thing I find is having relationships with players and being there for them to talk to and trying to understand them. And maybe Tommy's having a bad practice, but maybe not giving Tommy such a hard time, because maybe Tommy's going through something, or Tommy's had a tough day at school, or broke up with his girlfriend or something. And maybe just talking to Tommy about that. Hey, is everything okay, Tom? Maybe having a relationship, just being open and honest with him. And maybe he comes out and he's like, yeah, I know, he'll appreciate that a lot more, versus having your own opinion and trying maybe to push Tommy and ripping him a bit. Hey, work. You might lose him in the long run. Maybe Tommy is an important player for you. And maybe sometimes pushing the buttons too hard, too much, too fast, without understanding the player and the person he is, you might not get the full effect of the player you want. So I find having a good relationship with your players is very, very important. And some of the best coaches I've had were not the best at X's and O's. They were not the best at systems. Sometimes they weren't even the best at power play structure or PK structure or even pillars, but they were good coaches because they cared and they listened and they wanted the best for each kid. And you can see that, and their energy radiates, and it's okay. Sometimes, he might forget to pull the goalie and he's got something going on, but you want to play for this guy because he cares for you. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is having a relationship and showing the players that you care for them and that you're there for them and that you're there for the best interest. And that will have a long lasting effect for them. And more, like we always talk about, guys, it's more than just the hockey player. It's the person and impacting that person. And you'll have kids coming up to you. They won't be kids anymore, say in 20 years. And they didn't end up playing hockey. They played, maybe Bantam hockey, and then they stopped playing. But you directly as a coach might have had such a huge impact on them that you guided them in the right directions because some of the lessons and some of the values you taught them through hockey. And now he's gone on to be the VP of a financial company because of stuff that you taught him as a person. So it's far more bigger than just the game of hockey. As for us as coaches, it's way bigger than that. And I thought I'd finish off again here with the process. And again, as coaches, having a plan and not measuring success with wins or losses, but rather measure the success with your plan as a group. And you may not have success at first. And trust me, guys, when you're trying to instill certain things early on, you probably will lose your more games than you will win. But if you stick to it, if you stick to your plan, you stick to your good habits, you stick to the small details, you will win games at the end of it. And trust me, it will be a grind, guys. It will be hard because you might be losing 5 in a row. You're going to hear it from some fans, some parents. You might hear it from someone in management. And it's going to be a grind. It's going to be tough. But you know, and your staff knows, and your player knows, it's going to be a process, and it's not going to happen overnight. The teams that stick to the process and trust the process, they always come out on top at the end. If you want to play, in my opinion, if you want to play a 50-50 game where you're not focusing on the details, okay, in the championship game or here and there, you might lose because those small details won't make a difference. But if you stick to the small details and you trust the process and you trust everything and you embrace the challenge, in that championship game, all those small details will make a difference in the long run. And so for the group that was here last week, 2 videos. They're going to see one again from last week because this Matt Campbell, Iowa State head coach of football. I'll give a quick detail on him. He's a coach that came into an organization that was failing. They were ranked 25th, but before that, they were not even on the radar. This coach came in and changed the DNA and values of this team, and he talks about embracing the process. So I'll let the video go here.
Couple things for you guys. Listen to me, and then I'll let you go. Okay? The biggest thing that I've got to tell you is this. You're teaching the world that in this sport, college football, toughness, discipline, and detail still matter. That's your platform. Your platform is team above self. That's the platform that you're using. And nobody wants to buy into that in our culture today. Okay? Our culture says it's all about me. Our culture says, screw process. I want instant gratification. But here's a fact, and young guys, listen to me. If you fall in love with the process, then eventually, Ogie, the process will love you back. But see, here's what's crazy about that. You don't know when it's going to love you back. Okay? All you have to do is you got to be prepared for your opportunity when it's ready to love you back. Now think about that, because that's powerful. There's some young guys in here that are still trying to climb the ladder. Okay? What you guys that have grinded it out, have stuck it out, have believed it out, you fell in love with the process. And the process is now loving you back. And if you want to continue on this journey, I'm telling you, it's a dark, lonely road. You see all this around you and everybody wants to buy in. They want to buy the stock now, right? They want to jump in. They want to be a part of it. Okay? But you got to shove it away. It's a dark, lonely road. If I told you, if you want to stand on that platform at the end of this and the confetti comes down and you stayed the course, it's really hard to do. Easy to say it.
Man, that video I can watch every single day. It just inspires me. And to hear him talk about that, talk about the process, and I have a story too to share. Like our first year, my first year coaching with Mario and Andre and James Boyd is the GM. It's our first year together as the whole staff, and we started to introduce our values in the process. And how I got introduced to the process is our very first game together. We're in Barrie, and we get smoked. It was like 8-1. We get shellacked. And the next night we're in Mississauga, and we win a game. And then the next night we lose. And it was like a roller coaster. And it was like the emotions were all over the place. And Bear's like, he asked me, because it was my first year coaching, how you feeling? You know, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel. Like it's such an emotional roller coaster. First night we get smashed. Next night we win. The next night we get crushed again. And it's such an up and down. He's like, that's normal to feel it as a coach, as a new coach. You don't know what to think of your team and where to go. But he goes, we have to have a plan, and we have a plan. All the stuff we've been working on through training camp. And now we have to trust in the process. And we can't focus anything on the results. And so, for example, the game we got smashed in Barrie, we learned a lot about our team and a lot about our players and a lot about character and a lot about our leadership, how they handled it. Yes, it was our first game of the year, but you see a lot of the characters come out of the players in a situation like that. Maybe players get a little frustrated, or they get a little short, or they get a little selfish. Those are areas that we can correct and fix and help and guide them. So by us going through a roller coaster few weeks, it really helped us to embrace the process and grow with our players. And Nick Saban here is another great coach of Alabama here. Really good quote here about the process and rules.
Coach, do you come out of the spring with 5 or 6 guys who you say this is going to be in some combination our offensive line, or is it still further away than that?
Well, look, competition is healthy for your team. And I know it's really significant to all you all's job that you know who the first team is and who the second team is, but it really isn't significant to my job at all. What's significant to my job is to have guys keep competing. Iron sharpens iron, so good guys competing against good guys, making each other better, so that we get more guys that can play winning football. That's what's important to me. And, you know, right now, I might say we probably have 4 offensive linemen. I'm not going to say who could play winning football. We probably have another 4 that have the potential to play winning football that may not be where they need to be. We're going to play the best 5 guys that give us the best chance doing the things that I just talked about. Ownership can do their job, has a high standard of how they compete, and can sustain when things don't go their way, and self-correct what they have to do to play the next play. So I can't. I mean, football is a developmental game. So players need the opportunity to develop before we get to the results, which you all just want results. I mean, there is no process, all right? There is no discipline to execute. I mean, there's none of those things. It's just tell me who's going to be there, so I can create an expectation for them and then kill them when they don't live up to it. I get it. I mean, I understand. But so. No. Do we have 5 starters etched in stone? No. Do we have starters etched in stone at every position? No. There's competition at positions, and if somebody's a better player, can give us a better chance to win, we're going to play the guy. And we've always done that. And I think we owe the players on our team to play the best players.
So again,
Couple things for you guys. Listen to me.
I love the way he talks about, you know, setting its developmental league, and that's as coaches all over. It's not the NHL. We're not in the NHL. We're a developmental league, and we're trying to develop the players to get the NHL. In the NHL and in the NFL, it's all based upon results, and that's, in my opinion, we as young coaches and as coaches in minor hockey and even junior levels, a lot of times I find coaches get focused on results too much and don't pay enough attention to the small details for the process and the development of the players. And
Coach,
And then I'll let
come
you
out
go.
of-
here, I have one more.
Okay, the biggest thing that I've got to tell you is
Here we go. Sorry, guys. I have one last one here for you guys, if I can find it. I got this clip a couple days ago from it's Coach K. I'm not sure if I had it on here. But anyways, Coach K, he talks about when he was in the Olympic coach for the USA Olympic basketball team. And you have guys on that team, LeBron James, you have all these superstars, and they were having this conversation, and LeBron James did not face him or did not look at him directly. And so he talks about in his younger days, he might have taken that personal and might have maybe attacked him, but he's learned to talk and communicate and have relationships with his players. Now, yes, granted, it's a small tournament, it's a short gathering, so he hasn't been a coach for a long, long time with this group of players, but you still have to have values. So afterwards, he ends up talking to LeBron James, and they come up with something in the locker room where all the players have to come up with one value, one rule. So as a group, they came up with 14 values. And he talks about having the players come up with it, and honesty, commitment, have no regrets. So the players and the coaching staff came up with these values for the NBA All-Star team, Olympic team, and they stuck by it. And that's what they held each other accountable for, them, was values. And I think Coach K, if you want to look at it, it's Coach K, values versus rules. And he talks it as a really good point, saying, as a coach, if you go in with all these rules, it's tougher for the players to believe in it. But if you come in there with values and you talk to your players about the values and have them come up and help you create them, yes, you can steer them at a younger age. You can help steer them into the direction you want them to go. But by them coming up with it, you can hold them accountable, and they can hold each other accountable. And he talks, it's a really good point when he talks about if you come in there stirring sometimes with certain things, then it becomes a rule, then it becomes easier for them to maybe just neglect it or something like that, because it is a rule. So it talks about a really good point. But again, guys, these are just some of the stuff, the values that us as 67s have come together, and that what we believe in for us is our group, that we work together. And if you can take some of this stuff going forward and it helps you out, that's great. But again, like, we're not saying this is the right way, this is the only way. If there was a right way and the only way, everyone would be doing it. And there's no perfect recipe. It's sometimes you might have to, after every season, we always talk as a coaching staff, and we talk, maybe make adjustments where we need to make adjustments. If we think this value was not exactly what we needed this year for this, we might make adjustments on our value or our DNA. So it's always changing. Stuff are changing. Our pillars change constantly because the group we have and this and that. But having yours and instilling it, but spending more time focusing on the development of the players, and maybe having a different way of looking at things by having pillars to have a better relationship and something to build off with your players, and instilling good values. Us as coaches, again, it's important for us to raise these kids the right way and not treat them just as players, but treat them as people and as kids, and try to grow them up. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. If you guys have any questions, please fire them away to JR, and I'll try to answer them as best I can.
Yeah, awesome. That was a great presentation. Again, lots of useful information for all of our coaches, from from the small ones to the larger ones to the bigger ones. That's great information and stuff that I'll be using for sure with my group. I do have a couple that have come in.
Okay.
We'll get you on the first one here. So other than respect video, what else have you done to teach or listen to your players? So any recommended web pages and or readings, books that that they can use, that you use with your players? Sorry.
Yep. So what we did, The Last Dance. It's an HBO series on Michael Jordan. And so we had our players watch the episodes, and we had them come up with, we broke them into groups of 4 and 5. And we had them, we picked, each guy did an episode, each 2 or 3 guys would do an episode. And what they took out of the episode, one of our values, what we can take. And we did that this year in hope that when we get back to play, we can maybe use it to motivate, or if we need something to, if the team is down, we can use this. Okay, guys, you remember we took this from The Last Dance? It's something we can go back on and we can hammer it out. So we took points from all the episodes, and the players were responsible for finding different values, different ways of doing things, things that they liked, things that they didn't like, things to be aware of. So The Last Dance is a good starting point. I think would be really good.
Perfect. If you had to add a 5th pillar, what do you think it would be and why?
Ooh, great question. Had to add a 5th pillar. I'd say tough to play against. It's kind of one of our in our DNA. That's a tough one because it's respect too. Is sorry, like 2-on-1, but I'd say tough to play against, and that's a little bit different because I'm staying on top of the puck, just always being in your face, being hard to play against, and it's not necessarily going to crush a guy, hit a guy hard like that, but another pillar would be just again tough to play against, working on skills of getting your bumps, staying on top of the puck, reloading, that type of thing from there. But it's really tough to narrow down a different pillar.
Yeah, when you talk to players about compete level, they think compete level is putting someone's head through the glass. And
yeah, exactly, right. And it's totally not that.
getting them to understand that is a big one. Another one here, what are the big challenges to getting the players to buy into the pillars?
I think once they see results, so if you spend a lot of time working on these certain skills into the pillars, and say you're working, for example, with Tommy on this puck protection in the corner, and you've been working in normally Tommy has blinders on and he loses the puck and he doesn't see the ice well and he always gets knocked over and we lose possession of the puck. If once Tommy has the works at it, now he finally beats the guy to the corner, takes it to the net, and now he has a chance and now he creates it. That's where he starts to believe in it and understand it. And once you continue doing video, or it's hard to do video, but I think when you see your team starting to get results from all the work you're putting in and helping them understand like all these small areas will make a big difference in your game, then they'll start believing in it. And I think just having an honest conversation with them and maybe asking them, what do you see in a certain situation like happening? Where's the 2-on-1, or what can you do here to make a difference? So having them see the results and see it on tape, and if you have the ability to show video is a really good way to show them. But again, having them see for themselves personally how it works and how it helps out is a good way.
And definitely getting the older ones to buy in as well will help with the transition for the newer ones too.
Yeah.
Last, I don't have any other coming in. I know I'll get you out of here on this one. In terms of building relationships with your players, and I know Bear, when he spoke to us, it was, he likes to, you come in and chirp the players a lot. It kind of builds a relationship with them as well. What are the things that you guys do besides just having player meetings?
One of the things we always tell the players is there's the person and there's the player. The player on the ice, if he makes a mistake, okay, we're talking to the player, but understanding he is a person. So when we talk to him, it's on the ice as a player, so he understands it. But we always talk to the players and have respect for the players, and we never make them feel we're more above them. We always make them feel comfortable. We always have an open door policy. And to be honest, I think the players, they want to be coached and they want to be taught and they want to have a friend, and we try to be both, but we have to separate it. And, you know, we can be good friends with them, but we also have to be their coach and coach them the right way. And we have to be honest with them. And honesty, I think, is the biggest key. And sometimes honesty hurts, and you're not going to make the player better by not telling him the truth just to please him. You have to be honest with him. And in the long run, the honesty will help that player, and he'll respect you much more by you being honest with him and versus you sugarcoating it.
Awesome. I do have a request here about drills that you guys use in practice to help enforce their pillars. I'm not sure how we can get that out to people. Is there a way that you have 3 or 4 drills that you can write
Yep,
up?
I have some drills that I put it on there last time, but what I could do is I can get them to you somehow, the drills, because the way I presented it, it's on a Practice Creator. So I'm not shared it, everyone would get it, because if they don't have Practice Creator, but I can put it on a PDF, send it, and then if you want, you can send it out to them.
Yep, that'd be great. If you can send that off to me, and I'll get it out to the rest of them.
Perfect. Awesome.
Awesome. Don't have anything else, so we'll get you out of there on that. I really appreciate it. That's a lot of great information, and I'm really appreciative of you taking the time, especially coming out 2 Thursdays in a row. And I know you said your son's practicing tonight, so you're gonna have to miss that, unfortunately. But I really appreciate you coming out and spending your time with our coaches over the last 2 weeks. So lots of great information.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, Norm.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys.